visualization is going to be very direct, right? Like Mars jumping in, getting a spear into arena, and then while that is happening, you will need your White Spirit to jump onto the backline to find the Dazzle. Otherwise, if you drop all of your combo to one guy and that guy gets saved by the Grave and got out of the team fight, all of a sudden you find yourself in a very, very bad situation. So I would say Lelouch games is mega important in this particular game. He needs to get to the early Aghanim's timing, and then the team fight is gonna be a lot easier for them.
And hopefully that's the case. I think in the previous game, Lelouch has been not having the best game for sure. We saw him just going for the Kunkka to get the impact in the first 10 minutes, but afterwards it really felt like he has been struggling. And that was to catch a puck. And now you still have the kind of the same properties to deal with, which is a very mobile mid lane matchup from the side of Team SMG in the form of this Ember Spirit. But I think one of the players that is worth looking at is Force, right? Because his game one, he had a very abysmal game, just not able to get anything done. 30-minute Blink Dagger, had to go for BKB first item, and still got shut down very early on by Team SMG.
Yeah, I think in this game, giving him one of his more comfortable heroes is definitely very helpful. And I think, in some cases, I can feel the anger within Force right now. Like, this is where he wants to be able to dictate the game, go for this early phase with Dagger and just run around and lead his team to multiple engagements. So I feel that Polaris, they got themselves a pretty well-rounded draft this time. But once again, they have the tools to be aggressive. They just need to execute it well this time.
And hopefully that's the case. I mean, we look at Polaris. They actually have pretty incredible defensive ultimates, right? SMG has the Grave, but for Polaris, they have the Dawnbreaker ult. They have the Winter Wyvern, Cold Embrace. They have the Wyvern ult. There's so many ways to kind of put Nasumi in the spotlight and then let him do his job. And I would say that in game number one, Nasumi actually did pretty darn fine considering the circumstances, right? He was really kind of the pivot of the Polaris Esports. But now you put him on a Terrorblade, that potential gets unleashed even more if we get to that late game stage.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Polaris, a lot of their games that they used to find success with was that he on a very, very big winning condition, like a Medusa, for example, and TB in a lot of sense is very, very similar to that, right? And not to mention this is an 8-pick TB, so they are definitely very conscious of their winning condition, and that is Nasumi in this game. And everyone are just pieces that can enable Nasumi to eventually be the be all and all kind of status of the TB. So we will see how Polaris is gonna play towards that. And it's not like they are playing a very defensive 4 protect 1 either, right? They have actually very aggressive manners to actually close out the game with the White Spirit and also the Mars. So I would say that they have good tools. It all comes down to execution and it all comes to how the lane goes.
And we will see this level 1 headdress for AU. And that really says a lot about Polaris' emphasis on Nasumi, keeping him alive in the lane. With all these regenerations, all this defense, it's all about the Terrorblade. Because this one is a bit more of an even start in terms of the bounty. 2 apiece for each team, contrary to game number 1. You see, so Dazzle down with the bot lane with mid 1. Double defensive, right? Time Walk, Grave. I mean, who can kill mid 1? I feel like it's going to be a really tough thing to do. And all that damage at level 1 negated. Though Polos is going to take a couple of beating from Xavier's, but that is pretty much it.
Yeah. I mean, there's no hard lockdown coming out from the side of Polaris, so it's not easy for them to bring down Physical Sword unless they can find a perfect chain stun with the spear into the Starbreaker stun. Otherwise, it's probably going to be a little bit tough.
Yeah. Though with that being said, I mean, Xavier is doing a great job just abusing the fact that at this level 1 spot at least, they do have that advantage with the damage output. That's off of like 2 Celestial Hammers. The Polosa needs to be really careful. This Poison Touch might be a good way to kind of chip away the health bar of Polaris Esports, but still, at the end of the day, you just can't really do as much damage as you wanted to look for. No, he doesn't get the finisher on the Clockwork, and now it's going to be linked up by Masaros. But it's just level 1 static link. AU flaps his wing and flies away.
Top lane is already, this Clockwork plus Razor, they are always ready to be super, super aggressive. But thankfully, you are always fighting against a Winter Wyvern, so Winter Wyvern can always just Arctic Burn and get away from the call. So it's not that punishing for the side of Polaris and Natsumi. Oh.
Try again. This time, there's the Metamorphosis from Natsumi. Afu wants to get away with Cox, and actually was able to do so. Gets away safely, no first blood.
Metamorphosis, terribly is going to have a pretty okay time here, to be very honest. Like, it's not easy for Razor to just run at the Terrorblade and pop the static lane. You are playing against Reflection, you are playing against Arctic Burn, so the slows are always going to be there to hinder your ability to do so. So it seems like top lane, as long as Masaris is going, is able to control the CS of the Natsumi, I think that's probably the biggest victory that they can find on this lane. Obviously, kills are good, but if kills are not happening, then making sure that Natsumi farms lesser is also a pretty big win.
So are we kind of looking at Team SMG going for a slightly different approach from game 1? And this one is all about slowing down Terrorblade, right?
Yeah, I would say that they have a pretty good solution for themselves also, right? Like, you have Faceless Void, so... Oh, Poloson though on the bottom side.
The spear does connect, but actually saves Poloson. But too far, and Forrest turns up, puts up the shield, gets bashed in return. And SMG definitely winning that trade.
This bottom lane is in huge favor of the side of Team SMG. And that's the thing about playing against the Desert nowadays. It's very similar to Warlock. They just, keep spamming your poison touches, and all of a sudden you need to find yourself in a situation where you either buy a Ring of Health to sustain, or you need to keep spamming the healing salve. And that is exactly what Force is doing already.
Yeah, especially when now, your friend's healing salve isn't as effective, right? So, gotta invest a bit of your own money. More of your own money, in fact. How is middle lane looking? Like, it feels like it's even. I mean, Lelouch is doing a decent job of trying to keep Moon away. And he's making sure that the level, the playing field is pretty much even for both teams. Now Xavier comes in, Celestial Hammer onto Poloson. Does not have the Grave. At least wants to take Xavier with him, but I don't think that's going to happen. First blood coming through for Lelouch in the mid lane.
Yeah, that's a very good start. We already talked about how White Spirit needs to have a very good start to take over this game and be the answer to the Dazzle. And having a successful rotations like that from his support is definitely helping a lot. And especially, getting the level advantage also helps a lot. You want to get to your early level 6 or even level 7 so that you can just easily control rune, get to the side lanes and try to break the side lanes off.
We'll try to at least fight Lelouch though. Follow refill. Got the projection out, but it doesn't really matter. And instantly we see a counter move from the side of SMG, and that kill goes over the Moon. So we're seeing a lot of value from that 1 TP.
So far, looking pretty good for Polaris, I would say. I would say that the bounty rune timings are going to be essentially important for them. Because like we say, right, when we are playing, the Spirit versus Spirit, the rune controls are always the most important one. So let's see who, from both sides, the supports have the capability of controlling the rune, but I would say Clockwork is going to be slightly stronger than the Winter Wyvern and also Dawnbreaker.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's just that it's a bit unfortunate that he was not able to have that impact. Now he's going to go on Afu. Can he TP out in time? Nope. Natsumi just hits way too hard.
And even bottom side, they are constantly looking for the supports to kill because they understand that mid one is a little bit of a tough kill to get. So Xavius is always on the tail of Poloson.
Bully this Dazzle out, right? If Poloson can have, a Grave for his core, that's also kind of a win. And he's actually saving that 1 skill point in case Polaris looks for the kill. Spear onto mid one. He's just gonna time walk out of there.
They might want to go
back. Celestial Hammer is used. Not able to close the gap though. Poloson should be able to run away, and he does have 7 stick charges.
Lelouch is coming, but he's getting scouted by the very nice Observer Ward there. So this is the kind of Observer Ward that you want to have to check the Spirit's rotations. And with this information, look at how safe Poloson is playing right now. He's just hiding in the trees, not looking to give any kills away.
Yeah,
to the West Spirit.
Especially when he has the Grave, right? If they want to jump on mid one, at least Poloson can save him. We'll see what the move is going to be. Aether Remnant comes in into a spear. The Grave comes out from Poloson. Perfectly done. And mid one just time walks away. And Xavier, he's still thinking about it with the Celestial Hammer. He's going in. The commitment is there for Polaris. They want to get the job done as quick as possible. Mid one walks around the trees, turns around, gets the kill. Spear through his chest. But at least there's the trade. And now Afu comes in with the cogs. And Force, yeah, he's going down for sure. 2 kills for SMG.
Oh, that was very well done by Poloson. Like, that was a maximum play coming out from Mars because he already speared him away from the on the mid lane though, Moon. Getting away with your sleeping of HP.
Oh.
9 HP. Oh my god, that was so close.
And Moon again just dancing with death. The top lane. Not gonna be the same though. Lelouch shows up top. Oh, and they get the big kill into Masaros. Super
And this
huge.
time, yeah, and this time around, you are feeling the adjustment coming up for Polaris, right? This time, Lelouch is not mirroring the movement of Nana. He's actually making the proactive move himself and forcing Moon to actually be the one reacting to him. And he has been, involved in 2 very successful rotations right now.
Yeah, and I do love that, this activeness from that voice spirit, right? And that was off of that one first blood lead that he got at the bottom water rune. Gets the lead, gets the level, makes rotations, and just the movement is so fast. And that was like, what, half a minute ago he was on bot side, helping to kill mid one, and suddenly he shows up top and Masaros goes down. It could not have gotten any better for Polaris, but this time mid one has the chrono, can use it if he wants to, but the rest of his team is there, so the chrono is not going to be needed. It's going to be locking the force down with that chains, and mid one gets a kill.
And the team as well. This is a very, very good rotation coming up from SMG. Afu TP'd to the bottom lane earlier, so he didn't really want to walk all the way back to the top lane or the mid lane. So he instead actually stayed.
I'm not really sure if you want to
Xavier's.
review yourself. Yep. Bad idea, Xavier's.
And this is the power of Clockwork versus the Dawnbreaker that it's just so hard for you to channel your ultimate, because a lot of this not ultimate but actually a Starbreaker, but it's the same for ultimate as well. There's a lot of ways for you to
Yep.
Force.
Okay, to get Poloson though, they need a bit more damage, and Lelouch comes in and delivers that one. The Aether Remnant actually grabs Afu back, 2 kills so far. Both the supports go down, but mid one, again, still holding onto that chrono. There's no need to use it. I mean, Polaris just does not have damage to kill him.
Yeah, another very good rotation coming up from Lelouch again. And meanwhile, Moon is maximizing for his farm. He's not, he didn't go for the max light into a maximum pressure kind of build. He actually opted for Flame Guard. And it seems like he wants to play out the farming game. He wants to get to this early Maelstrom timing so that he can kind of hinder the farming ability of the Terrorblade. And also, just having a little bit more magical damage to burst him down in fights.
I think at the same time, it's also the fact that we see the Voice Spirit making so much moves, but while the Voice Spirit is the way you get free lane for yourself, and Moon just he realizes he doesn't need to react to Lelouch, right? I think Lelouch is trying to get a reaction out of him, but now Moon is the
Chronosphere
one
on
with
bottom
the
side?
lead. Bottom side, Force again gone on mid one. Already expanded the chrono, no kills for him this time. A turnaround from Xavier's onto Afu, who has that battery assault, locks him in with the cogs, isolates this Dawnbreaker, and mid one goes back swinging with a couple of bashes. Force is there to protect him. You gotta watch out though, Lelouch is showing up.
Oh, then one more. Lelouch is coming in.
Starbreaker doesn't connect. Spear though, perfect for Force. As Moon shows up a bit late to the party, but he does have those remnants to work with. Force going to put up its bulwark, try to keep Moon at bay, but he puts up the arena with Moon in it. It actually still does not survive. Solar Guardian is just insufficient. And while all of that was happening, Lelouch was actually brought down pretty low. Has to use the pick pole to gain some distance. But Moon, yeah, he's not going to relent. Even with the shield from this Voice Spirit, it doesn't feel like it's going to be enough though. The battery assault is there. Astral Step, not able to buy enough distance, and Moon gets a double kill. A super valuable counter rotation.
That was such a good usage of the Regen Rune as well. He popped the Regen Rune, turned on the Flame Guard, so the Flame Guard was able to mitigate most of the magical damage, and his Regen Rune got capped all the time during the team fight. So he was actually, regenning to full mana in the entire team fight. Now he's going for AU.
Yeah, Masaros did go down in the top lane to Natsumi, but I suppose Moon, yeah, he's gonna claim himself another one down mid. And we're seeing that lead extend in the mid lane matchup. We thought Lelouch is the one getting things done, but right now, Moon is 1.2k richer than this Voice Spirit.
And once again, man, I have to mention this is the power of the control the rune, right? He got the regen rune. He was able to keep his entire status to the max while making all these rotations. So that was such a big win for Moon. And if you look at the CS chart, because of how busy Lelouch has been doing all this rotation, his CS is only 43 while Moon has 75. So this is already making a pretty big difference in terms of net worth.
And that's off of just getting that back flame guard and staying in lane, right? And and that's something that you did highlight very early on. Again, the rune just completely controlled by Team SMG. And I feel like even if Polaris brings in a support, it doesn't really feel like they have the same amount of early impact that Team SMG supports have. Smoke is up. They're looking for mid one again. And Force is going for the wraparound. This is going to be very important. They do have the winner's curse. Not able to get it though. Mid one, time walks away, but Force needs to land the spear, and the spear goes wide. Lelouch goes in. Chrono pop. Solar Garden comes right through mid one. Doesn't know who to select as a target, but the rest of Team SMG are coming in. They decide, let's go for AU instead. There's time dilation, and Arena goes up, and Lelouch is forced down low. And now the Winter's Curse is out onto mid one. They need to follow out with some control. Mid one still survives, gets the grave from Poloson. Time walk to safety, and now it's Moon to clean things up. AU goes down, and the chains on top of Force, burned down by the Flame Guard with a poison touch on him. He gets speared away, but mid one follows up, and it's just a tag team affair from the side of Team SMG. 2 kills for them.
That was such a good usage of the on the grave. And meanwhile, Lelouch he's getting hooked.
Hook shot onto him, Resonance Pulse, making some damage. This time able to get away. And all that well. Not really sure if they saw Natsumi in the jungle, but he definitely is farming up a storm so far. We gotta check in on this guy. Dragonlance, Yasha on the way. Mid one back to full health. And that was after such commitments from Polaris, and they can't even get mid one down.
That was so close. Like, Force had a very, very small angle that he can, get the Faceless Void and maybe disrupt the desert a little bit, but the Grave was still able to come up, and all of a sudden, he pops the Time Walk and he gets back to full. And this is the power of the desert plus Faceless Void. It allows a hero like this to go very, very aggressive.
Well, they want him dead. He's gonna delay his death for now. Poloson staying alive, and now Masaru shows up, gets speared into the trees. Mid one tries to go after AU, but getting burned right down. Time walks to gain some health back, and oh boy, Natsumi, he's just gonna beat Afu to submission. Killing spree so far, but he's had a static link on him. The thunder comes out for Masaros. Masaros trying to stay alive. Brought back in by the Aether Remnant. Still standing strong. Finally, Natsumi goes down. But Lelouch might follow suit pretty soon as time dilation. It's gonna be used. Xavier's TP's out. And throughout all of that, is Moon with double damage rune again, paying dividends to his team.
Man, these power runes, man, are really making a big difference in the team fight. Like, I think this is two fights in a row where Moon is showing up to the fight with a power rune, and Void Spirit does not have any buff for himself. And this time they brought the red boss, right? Natsumi is here in the fight. It looked good for a second until Ember Spirit showed up to the fight with a double damage rune. And frankly speaking, at this point, double damage rune plus the max level slide, you are doing a lot of damage. And also not to mention you have the Maelstrom completed as well.
It can be so frustrating, right? The first fight you see him, he just gets full health. Second time you see him, he does double damage to you. Like, and Polaris. And all of that early investment felt like it didn't really mean too much, at least in the grand scheme of things. Sure, Natsumi is in the lead, but he is supposed to be in the lead. And even he had to suffer a death in that bottom lane, which should look good, theoretically. And look at Lelouch just getting bullied out of the lane. And Moon is looking for him with a slight, and he has that minus armor from the poison touch, or from the weave.
Oh? Do they want to make a move? Yes, they do.
Curse, they have all the control that they need. A very early grave. Moon sent into the wall, but that grave might be enough though. Whoa, a good Aether Remnant from Lelouch. They finally stopped the terror of this Ember Spirit.
A very good chain stance coming out from Polaris right there. The one last Aether Remnant was able to seal the deal as well. So very well done by Polaris. Punishing the over-aggression coming out from SMG. And that was very, very important for them to do that as well, But meanwhile, on the two cores on the both side lanes, mid one and Masaros was able to make use of the information very well. Both of them are farming aggressively and also showing up the lanes as well. So even though with the mid kill, Polaris, they don't have a way to really enlarge their map because of what the two side lanes are doing.
The SMG felt like they're always one step ahead. Oh boy, they want Poloson. You gotta remember that Poloson can extend his death timer. Or extend his, his time of death at least. He does go down eventually to Lelouch. But now, at what cost? Just for Dazzle, mid one comes in, Chronos Natsumi. They need the damage, Solar Guardian is here, Force Spear goes a bit wide, Natsumi ready to fight this one, does have the Thunder, exchange life with mid one, who time walked to safety, but while all of that was happening, Moon comes back in, Arfu re-engages for the hook shot, and now Force is going to be the next one on the chopping block team SMG with 3 kills.
Yeah, SMG, they are playing the fights very well. They're playing all these long fights, which, definitely benefits them a lot because you're giving chances for Ember Spirit to refresh his spells, wait for the cooldown to come back online. And on the meanwhile, Terrorblade, once you put the Metamorphosis, you are kind of forced to commit into the fight. Otherwise, you feel very bad because the downtime is so long, right? And now just look at Moon constantly playing in front of their mid tower, and he's gonna get a kill.
He's not afraid. He just stands there and man fights Natsumi.
And he gets out. No way.
And he gets out. Moon has prepped that 10 years ago. That remnant has been sitting there since the start of the game.
Yeah, I mean, they don't call him CEO for no reason, and his performance is definitely worth the title so far, at least in this series. Both the Puck and Ember Spirit, but of course, he will still have to close the deal. Yeah. But then again, it's impressive.
I mean, we look at him, right? Highest net worth in the game so far. He's like, what, 11-1. So we're looking at 19 total kills of Team SMG, and Moon has 11 of them. His BKB is coming up soon, and if it's already hard to lock him down, this is going to be even tougher.
Yeah, I mean, that being said, we are still seeing, the saving abilities coming out from Polaris, making a pretty good deal to kind of hinder the threat of the Chronosphere. We have been seeing Savior saving his ultimate for his cores that are getting caught in the Chronosphere, and he's actually quite near to his Aghanim Scepter. So once the Aghanim is up, you are able to provide, what, 60% of evasion, so that is gonna be a pretty big deal for his team, and also of course for SMG as well, because they don't have a lot of magical damage to start with already. So this physical damage is gonna get heavily mitigated by these Aghanims.
Absolutely. It's good. Faceless Void will feel really bad trying to bash something that he cannot hit. Well, all things considered, I mean, assuming he did go down twice, but he's still keeping himself relatively close on that net worth chart. Next item will be that Eye of Scardy, and that's going to be the important one. But Eye of
Scardy against the heal of the Dazzle, against the Razor is going to be important. It's quite far away though. Meanwhile, mid lane.
Yeah, Force called out again. Do they want to use the Solar Guardian for him? No. They're keeping it. They know that the important guy to save is Natsumi, and unfortunately Force has to be sacked. But Moon is not done just yet. Look at the abundance of damage. He's locked down for so long. It felt like an eternity. And it's Moon once more with the cleanup.
Yeah, all these long-range disables is something that Polaris are very afraid of right now because their supports, they want to be the fight for a little bit longer, but against this, very good vision coming up from Rocket Flare, and not to mention the Plasma Field gives you some vision as well. And Moon is, the Ember Spirit is one of the best heroes that can just keep these backline heroes in check. And so far, we are seeing the backline heroes are not having a lot of fun in this game because of the threat of the Ember Spirit.
Yeah, they just keep jumping in. I mean, Natsumi TP'd in. We're thinking about this ever so slightly, but they do not have the tools to do so, though. Lelouch trying to get something done. Afu getting a very early grave, and now re-engaged with the hook shot. They got Lelouch locked down and destroyed. BKB propped by Moon is about to get things done. Mid one comes in, not able to find a chrono angle. But AU, oh no, he's on top of the cliff. The Arctic's been expired. And AU is gonna feed himself to the Sharks of SMG. 3 more kills going their way.
Well, that was a very forced move coming out from Lelouch. I think they really wanted to take a fight there. That's why he committed 2 jumps right into it, trying to finish up the Clockwork that's running away with a sliver of HP. But Poloson once again coming in with the clutch Shadow Grave. And man, this Shadow Grave has been such a big deal for Polaris so far. And we talked about how you want the White Spirit to be the answer for it. But then again, the White Spirit's game is getting affected a lot. Not to mention that he has to make all this early aggression. That means that he's not hitting creeps, he's not skilling. he's been fighting a lot, and these fights, some went great, some didn't, but nevertheless, it all pushes his Aghanims timing a little bit backwards.
Yeah, and he's only truly the answer when he gets that Aghanim silence, right? I think that's kind of something that he has been looking for the entire game, but just like you say, hitting the nail on the head, and there is some trade-off, and that trade-off is that Aghanim's timing. And is it really an answer when he gets to it? I feel like, this 2 games in a row, he has played that role of really trying to be the pace setter for his team. And in the process, just giving up his own farm, giving up his own advantage. And at the end of the day, his team SMG just being one step ahead of them.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it also, I think the hero combination also plays a very big role, right? Because once again, you have the White Spirit and Mars, but if you look at the 2 supports, they are defensive supports, and they are not, they're not there to follow up with you to offer you the chain stuns. Oh, hold on, because AU, he's gonna go down.
That's for sure.
Oh,
Use the crystal.
oh, the hack coming up from below side.
That is the shard we've been talking about.
Yep.
Why spend close to 6,000 gold for Side of Visor? It's spent 1.4k for mini hex every
And
and
it's an AoE as well.
AoE
It's
mini
an
hex
AoE hex as well, yeah.
every 15 seconds.
Afu, he wants blood, he wants Natsumi, but the illusions are kind of blocking his angle, so didn't want to go for it.
It's very, very good thought, but in practical, it's not gonna be as easy. So we see Afu just constantly positioning himself in this angle, where the moment they see an opening, they go for the jump. It's gonna be a kill. SMG taking that tier 2 in the mid lane. And we are already seeing them drawing those lines, right? It's all about pressuring the side lane, shoving that wave in. And that's what Lelouch is trying to at least prevent on his own. Because the rest of Polaris are stuck in the jungle. Well, stuck in the base, in fact.
Yeah, there's very little way for them to unchoke themselves right now, because they will need to have a way to start a team fight, but they really don't have any. Like Mars, obviously you can always rely on the Mars to jump in, with the Blink Dagger, but you also need to make sure that you are able to see the Dazzle. But because they're all so choked in their base right now, they don't have any vision at all.
I mean, you look at the map, right? It's so dark. It is so dark on the side of Polaris. But the only ward they have is, it feels like it's not doing anything because SMG are not playing there. SMG is playing in Polaris' front yard. There's still some time on this Aegis though, but
meanwhile, look at Afu.
I mean, just can't get away. The time dilation makes life even hard. Yeah, I'm just gonna give him away.
Yeah, didn't even have to commit too much anyway, or they could have just, run back all the way. And this is the power of Clockwork, right? When you get to this kind of situation and scenario, you have the jetpack, it gives you flying vision, and all of a sudden it's hard to even hide in the jungle lines to try to split push. I also want to point out in the itemization of the Faceless Sword as well, a very early Satanic right now. So it seems like Mid-1 is on this trend of building these items that you normally see on the 4th or the 5th very early on. Last game, it was an 80-minute nullifier, and this time it's a 25-minute Satanic. Actually,
Right.
20 minutes.
There's a big thought process behind that, right? So like, if the item was to be bought, 4th in line, means that it's really powerful. But I can fast track it if I buy it first item. We're coming full circle. A decade later of Dota, we are coming full circle with that, buying Satanic as the first item. He's onto something. He's onto something.
Yeah, like a Dazzle picking up a shard, right? Like if you are able to get an AoE hex at 15 minutes, what other items do you even need? Do you need Ether Lens to do that? Not really. Like all you need to do is Sentry, maybe some of the small items like a Fluffy Hat, and all you need to do is to save your money to get to the shard timing. And I feel like in SMG, they're spending their gold very well. And this Satanic is also an epitome of understanding. The only solution that can bring this Faceless White down is the double silence coming out from White Spirit. And if I can propose an answer before you propose your answer, I'm already 2 steps ahead of you.
If you silence me and I can't time warp and I have to fight you, I'll just get lifesteal. I will beat you and I'll forcefully take it back. That's kind of the thought process. BKB popped by Moon. Masaros follows up. We see the Solar Guardian. And that's all SMG needs. Force the defensive out from Xavier's, and that is the one That is a huge one. In fact, 100 seconds, and it's without the Aghanim Scepter, right? We still 100 go away from the axe. But when he gets the axe, he still needs to wait 1.5 more minutes. And SMG, I don't think they're gonna give him 1.5 minutes. For the past 5 minutes, they've been dancing around this front door of Polaris.
That might not be so bad actually, because at the end of the day, you are also wasting the BKB charges of Ember Spirit. That's why they are, they want to take a fight. They want to take a fight now. They know that Ember Spirit is very vulnerable at this point.
Yeah, oh, this is gonna be crucial. No silence from Lelouch, so it would not be as easy as they wanted it to be. Yeah, they called the plan off. It's just not feasible. Not without the axe, not without the silence from the Resonance Pulse.
Oh, Masaros is hanging around. Understands that he has the BKB, so if he sees anything, just pop the BKB. There's not really a lot of ways for them to keep him in check unless they want to commit the Winter Curse.
And he has the Essence Ring, he has the Halberd. He's fine. He has 3,000 health. The hookshot does miss. Everyone just gonna stand his ground. Aether Remnant connecting onto Moon. I mean, Polaris, they're not even bothering about this, right? It feels like a gone case, at least in terms of this tower. Finally, Natsumi TP's back. Alright, Spear, this is it. Mid one, gotta go down right now, pull him back. But once more, he gets the grave for himself. And now he time walks onto Natsumi, pops the chrono, catches 3. Beast forced to death. Fight back from AU. He still had the winner's curse, but Natsumi survived the thunder. Absolutely massive to kill off mid one. He is disarmed for now. Masaru still puts himself in the midst of things. Gets static, Link, and Moon jumps back to the back line. The Cold Embrace to keep Natsumi alive, but the damage is overwhelming. And Natsumi could not survive that one. And AU just fought back. And now he wishes he didn't. 5 dead on Polaris, and there's nothing left.
Well, the Terrorblade didn't have buyback as well because he finished off the Eye of Skadi. So this could be at least a pair of Rags, but I like that Polaris, they're not calling it yet because they know that without the Faceless Void, the tower push is a little bit slow coming out from the 4-man of SMG. So at least they only lose a pair of Rags, and on the bright side, that is still acceptable.
Yeah, all things considered, not too bad. This will take a while.
Yeah, at least you get the big kill, on the Faceless Void. Or Moon though, on the other side.
Spit out, knocked up by the Starbreaker, but oh man, Xavier just disappears.
Frost is gonna go down as well, and they call it GG.
It's a GG.
Oh, they are. Oh, great! Now they are out.
It is over, right? That was a last ditch attempt, and SMG again a dominant showing from the squad, a statement, if I might say. And of course, Polaris, they're not out just yet. They're still the lower bracket, but the journey just got 10 times harder for squad on side Polaris.
Yeah, it's definitely.